Yo, how's it going? Welcome to my first Modern Warfare tips and tricks video. This one is vital. It's something that a lot of people skip out. They just go with the default settings, and that's going to really have a negative impact on your game. There's a few little changes that you can make that will honestly up your KD, up how many kills you'll get, and will also make you die less. So let's get straight into this. So first of all, button layout. If you've got a SCUF controller, just stay with the standard. If you don't have a SCUF controller, I would recommend using tactical. That's going to allow you to drop shot, or you can use stick and play, or stick and move, sorry. Stick and move is going to allow you to jump shot, which is pretty good without taking your without having to take your form off your aiming stick. Same with tactical. It's going to allow you to drop shot without having to take your form off of the right stick. So you can be aimed down your sights and aiming at people whilst doing all of these fancy moves. Next, I would not recommend putting invert look on. That's just weird. But if you like it, obviously go ahead. Same with these. If you're just used to a layout, then use the one you're used to. And then next, you've got horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical stick sensitivity. I personally would recommend using a lower sensitivity in this game. We've been used to these kind of high pace, fast paced jetpack games for the past couple of years. So everyone's pretty much bumped up their sensitivity so you can track people jumping through the air. Now it's boots on the ground and there's not much verticality to the map, so there's not much looking up. I don't think it's necessary to have such a high sensitivity. Obviously, use one that you're comfortable with because that's the one you're going to perform best with, but I've gone slightly low this year. And you'll notice that my horizontal sensitivity is higher than my vertical. That's because I tend to get thrown off. I lose control if I have my vertical sensitivity too high. And just for precision and getting more kills, this helps a lot. Because if you can't control your vertical sensitivity and you're missing people, you're shooting over their head, you're shooting between their legs, whatever, you're missing out on kills and you're not going to perform at your peak performance. Next, moving on to ADS sensitivity. I keep it the same for sniper rifles, which is the Marksman Scope's ADS sensitivity multiplier, because I'm used to that. That's just how Call of Duty's worked for me for a long time. And then next, moving on to the Rifleman, I've actually decreased that. What that's going to do is it means that when you're not aiming down your sights with an SMG, an assault rifle, LMG, whatever gun it is, you can move really fast and turn on people and pull off some really good kills. And then once you aim down your sights, it will slow down, allowing you to be more precise and have more control over your weapon's recoil and just overall accuracy, which is great. This is a good tip. Use it, guys. Next, moving on to controller vibration. If you're using a high sensitivity, you're going to want this low because it is going to throw your shots off if you've got this vibrating in your hand. And you don't want that. I know it makes it more realistic, but you're not going to perform as well. I can promise you that. Turning this off is a game changer. And plus, it makes your battery last longer in your controller. So if you're trying to, it's more convenient, put it that way. Next, moving on to aim assist. This is where it gets interesting. There's 4 settings for this, 4 to choose from. I've gone with precision personally because I'm an experienced COD player. I've played for a long time and I can trust myself to be pretty accurate and get my sights close to people. If you're someone that hasn't played as much, I'd start off on standard just because it's kind of what you're used to in the old Call of Duties, or I would go for focusing because this sounds quite cool actually. Basically, when you missing your shots just slightly, so if you're just shooting past their head, giving them like piercing their ears and stuff, not killing them though, or just shooting past their arms and legs, this is going to help you a lot because it's going to slow down the aim when you are missing, allowing you to be more precise and refocus back on those enemies. Then you've got aim response curve types, new thing again. I would recommend just sticking with the standard. I've played around with the other ones and they are really weird. For me, because I'm an experienced COD player and I've played so long that it's just like ingrained with me to be using the standard. But go ahead, use these new ones because you might perform better with them. And if you do, great. If you're going to get more kills, use it. Definitely go ahead with it. Next, this stuff's important. Make sure that you have ADS plus melee to actually mount your weapon. Otherwise, you're going to start shooting at someone and aim down your sights, and the next minute you're going to be leaning around a corner and it'll really do your head in eventually, trust me. Next, to exit from mounting, you want to actually disable that. So what that does is it means that if you move your left stick when you're mounting, it means that you come off, you stop mounting, which is bad, obviously. If you just tap it slightly, all of a sudden you're going to be in a gunfight, you're leaning around a corner nicely covered, and next minute you hit your left stick and you're out in the open and you're going to get gunned down and killed. Not good if you're on a nuke streak. Next, let's have a look at the aim down sight behavior and equipment behavior. Just leave them on hold. That's what we've been used to for a long time. But then this is where it gets interesting again. I've put contextual tap on. This means that to pick up a gun and to reload, you just tap square. And the good thing about it is that it actually prioritizes the reload when you tap if you're kind of hovering over a gun, which is great because there's been so many annoying times in Call of Duty where I've gone to reload, or vice versa, I've gone to pick up a weapon and I've done the wrong thing, which is just really annoying. So contextual tap is going to be interesting to use and should definitely help out. Next, let's move on to general settings. So I would recommend putting your brightness slightly up, just because it's a very gritty game and there's a lot of dark corners and just places like that that are hard to, it's got tough visibility to actually find people that, and especially people that kind of stick to the edge of the map and kind of hide in bushes and stick to the dark areas. You just won't see them if you don't have your brightness high enough. So definitely bump that up a little bit, will help you a lot. There's been plenty of times where I've had it too low and I die and I'm like, where is he? And if I had my brightness up, I would have seen them. So good tip to learn there. Next, safe area. Most important tip ever. Make sure that your safe area is minimized, the smallest. You might think, hold on a minute, every single Call of Duty, I've always maximized this. That's wrong. Don't do that. This is really going to help you. Minimize it. And what this essentially means is that your HUD is going to stick within this minimized area. And that's great. So your HUD contains your minimap, how many bullets you've got, your score streaks, etc. And what that means is that when you're looking at the center of the screen, there's less distance for your eyes to look to the minimap. And of course, we know that looking at the minimap is the most important thing about being a good COD player. You need to be looking at it 70% of the time. So if you've got it really far away from the center of your screen, that's going to be really annoying and you're going to miss out on enemies that you'd otherwise be seeing if you have it minimized. So if there's anything to take away from this video, take away this tip. Next, film grain, turn that down. Just look at the images. You want it to be smooth and crisp on the left. Next, let's do motion blur. Disable motion blur. Look how horrible that is. For example, that photo on the right, you're not going to see any enemies in those windows with motion blur. You're not going to see anyone, which obviously is a bad thing because you're going to end up dying or not getting as many kills. And then dismemberment, turn that on. But if you are not very good with gore, turn it off. I don't know why you'd be playing Call of Duty if you're not good with gore, but yeah, you get the point. Next, moving on to audio, put that on headphones 1. That is the best for me so far. TV 1's also pretty good if you want to try that out. And I'm talking if you've got a headset, these are the ones you need to be using. Next, have master volume on the max. That's just your general volume. Music volume, I turn that right down just because I don't want that to distract me from footsteps and call outs and whatever. And then dialogue volume, have that to the max so you can hear all the call outs from your teammates. Effects volume, turn that down a little bit. You don't want to blow your brains out. Juggernaut music, I've turned that off, but you can have it on if you think it's cool. And then hit marker sound effect, just choose whichever one you like. I'm just going with the new Modern Warfare hit markers because it's cool and exciting and different. But you can also just turn them off completely, which is cool to me. So you can try that if you like that. And then we are done. That is all of the important settings in this game. Go ahead, change your settings to these. I can assure you it is going to make you a better player instantly. Your KD is going to go up, you're going to die less, you're going to get more kills, you're going to have more fun, and you're just going to have a great time. It's been the Gibbinator. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel for the best tips and tricks. Plenty of videos coming soon. I'll see you in a bit.